So now we'll see about the movements of the knee joint. So in knee joint you have several movements, like you have flexion, you have extension, you have medial rotation, lateral rotation, locking and unlocking of the knee joint is being present there. So flexion and extension are taking place in the upper compartment of the joint, whereas the medial rotation and the lateral rotation are taking place, okay, in the lower compartment we see. This flexion and the extension is taking place around the transverse axis, which is very important, and you should know about each action. Along with that, what are the muscles contributing to them? So flexion, you can see the muscles contributing are biceps femoris, semitendinous muscle, semimembranosus. These are all the hamstring muscles. Okay, and the flexion is going to take place at the 30 degree, at the last 30 degree of the extension process. Okay, so that won't come here. Okay, so flexion is what caused by these three muscles, and the transverse axis, around the transverse axis the flexion is going to takes place. Similarly, you have the another one, that is another one movement called as an extension movement. So it is going to be from the quadriceps femoris muscle, okay, which is not a kind of hamstring muscle, but it will be below the inferior gamellae. Next is your locking and unlocking. Locking only at the last 30 degrees of the extension it is going to occur, where there will be a medial rotation of the femur. It is contributed by the vastus medialis. Unlocking will be at the starting. It will be in the starting of the flexion. Okay. So locking, I told you, it's the medial rotation result, and during the medial rotation of what? Femur. And at the last stage of extension it will be. Okay. 30 degree. Okay. Last 30 degree. Whereas if you take unlocking, unlocking is been by the flexion, okay, and lateral rotation will be taking place in unlocking. Okay, so at lateral rotation also in the kind of flexion. So you can mention here that it is a lateral rotation of femur. Okay, along with that there will be a flexion, beginning of flexion, and there will be a lateral rotation of the femur. As you can see right here, lateral rotation of the femur, and there will be a flexion. So it has been brought about by the popliteus muscle. Next you have the medial rotation of the femur. It takes place in the semi-flexed muscle. Okay, semi-flexed knee joint. Okay, semi-flexed knee joint. It occurs. Okay, and lateral rotation you can see in initial flexion will occur, and this is at the extension. This is at extension, and this is at the flexion. So the medial rotation is brought about by the popliteus muscle, semitendinosus, and the semimembranosus is being brought about, where the lateral rotation is done by the biceps femoris. So hamstring itself, two part of hamstring, two muscles of hamstring is in the medial rotation, whereas one in the lateral rotation, and the popliteus in the unlocking is in the medial rotation also. Okay, locking you have the vastus medialis. These are the movements you have to know in the kind of knee joint. Next we are going on to the deformity, or you can call it as the clinical anatomy of the knee joint. So what you have to see in this is the first about the in the clinical anatomy we divide by deformity. First we'll study about the deformity of the knee joint. So where we have genu varum, genu valgum, and you also have the another one which is genu retinaculum. Sorry, it's not retinaculum, it is rigor Okay, genu rigor Okay, so genu varum is also called bony. Okay, this is due to the adducted one. Abnormal adduction causes varum. Abnormal abduction causes valgum. Abnormal extension will cause the rigor vatum. Okay, so that is what very important. You should know about the three genu. One is varum, adduction, bony. Okay, valgum, abduction, knock-knee, rigor vatum, hyperextension will occur abdominally. Okay, there's an extension, abnormal extension. So next we are going to see about the injury to the ligaments. Whatever ligaments getting injured. So you can see here there are many ligaments of the knee joint. So the most affected ones are anterior cruciate ligament, okay, medial meniscus, and the medial collateral or the tibial collateral ligament. Both are same. Okay, these three are major, more common affected. These three are the commonly affected ones, right? So the first we can learn about the anterior cruciate ligament. This is affected in the violent hyperextension of the knee. The medial meniscus is generally affected, okay, due to the abduction and the you can see right here. So medial meniscus is affected generally due to the um, rotatory movements. You can go over here. That is affected via the rotatory movements. Okay, so the medial collateral ligaments are generally affected by the abduction and the adduction strains. Okay, that is the medial collateral ligament affected, whereas the meniscus is getting affected. Okay, in a strains in a slightly flexed knee. Flexion will cause the menisci to get affected. Okay, so the collateral ligaments are getting affected due to the abduction and adduction strains, whereas the menisci are affected due to the flexion, okay, and the anterior cruciate ligament affected due to the extension. So cruciate and the menisci are the extension and the flexion, whereas the collateral ligament is abduction and the adduction. This is a ligament injury. Next we have the knee dislocation. All these ligament injury will lead to the dislocation of the knee joint. Okay. Next we have the inflammation of the joint and the bursting. Okay. So you have a condition called as synovitis. Okay. I don't think so it has been given here, but you should remember that. So you have synovitis. Okay. So synovitis. So synovitis is nothing but the inflammation of the synovial membrane. So synovial membrane is getting inflamed and the liquid is going to get what? It is going to get filled up. Okay, synovial membrane get inflamed and the liquid or the fluid get filled up in the knee joint where the aspiration has been done to remove the fluid in the knee joint. That aspiration has also been done on the sides of the patella. Okay, this is very important. Okay, that is synovitis. Next you have the clergyman knee. Okay, you have the clergyman knee. I'll show you the condition of clergyman knee. Clergyman knee. Okay, So you can see a few images of clergyman knee. There is a clergyman knee and housemaid knees you can have. Okay. So clinical aspect, you have the clergyman knee. Okay. So this is a clergyman knee. Clergyman knee affects due to infrapatellar bursitis. There will be clergyman knee. The prepatellar bursitis, you have housemaid's knee. Okay. These two things you should know. And you also seem to have other few things, like you have the carpet filter knee. Carpet filter knee is due to the infrapatellar bursitis, also the patellar tendinitis. Okay, so carpet filter knee. So due to this position, what happens? There will be a infrapatellar bursitis, the patellar tendinitis, and osteoarthritis. Okay, this you should know. And at last we have the jumper's knee. Jumper's knee. This is due to the patellar tendinitis. Okay, so this is what jumper's knee is. Patellar tendinitis is going to cause a jumper's knee. Okay, so coming back, we have another one, bursitis, which is under semimembranosus bursitis. This has been causing the swelling in the popliteal fossa. Okay, this is about the inflammation of joints. So you should remember the synovitis, the prepatellar bursitis, which is the housemaid's knee, intrapatellar bursitis, which is the uh, which one? Clergyman knee, and carpet filter knee. This is due to the infrapatellar bursitis and patellar tendinitis, also osteoarthritis. Okay, jumper's knee due to the patellar tendinitis. Semimembranous bursitis will be the inflammation or swelling will cause in the popliteal region, popliteal fossa. So next we have about the osteoarthritis. Very common in the old age people, age related. Cartilage will get what? Articular surface of cartilage will get what? Degenerated, and there will be a growth of osteophytes will be there. That growth you can see very well in the case of severe osteoarthritis. You can divide the osteoarthritis into three types. One is mild osteoarthritis and moderate osteoarthritis, and you have the severe arthroarthritis. Okay, so mild arthroarthritis is nothing but you generally get the mild in the case of only cartilage is damaged, whereas moderate you have the bony surface also getting damaged. When the severe you have the osteophytes and the articular surface get totally damaged. Okay, so this is the osteoarthritis. We divide the osteoarthritis into two kinds: patellofemoral osteoarthritis and another is the tibiofemoral. So patellofemoral joint has been that is articulation has been destroyed as patellofemoral articulation. The tibiofemoral joint has been destroyed, called as a tibiofemoral arthritis. Next we have the Baker cyst. Okay, so you can see Baker cyst, that is a central swelling occurs due to osteoarthritis of the knee joint. So this is also a central swelling will happen. There will be a swelling in the central region. That is a Baker cyst. So to conclude in a very shorter way, we have seen the session about the movements of the knee joint along with the muscles contributing flexion, extension, mid rotation, lateral rotation, locking and unlocking. Along with that, we have seen about the clinical anatomy, where we learned about the inflammation of the joints and the bursae. Okay, osteoarthritis. Okay, so what are the bursae condition, like Snuggerman, carpet filter, housemates, knees, all these things. About the cartilage and the bone inflammation, like osteoarthritis and the Baker cyst we have seen, and also deformities, the genuvarum, valgum, and the regurgitum is also being learned by us. Thank you.